Mambo VP Ma Africa, blessed Monday to everyone. And today we've got a lot to talk about, starting with Panyaza Lesufi. You know, the white monopoly capitalist controlled by the Democratic Alliance mainstream media is going to continue to attack Panyaza. Each and every week, we must expect that Panyaza is somehow going to make a front page or going to be a headline on some type of news report. So it's expected. I just want to hear the response of Panyaza as to the DA saying he's not releasing some reports. So let's hear from him. And also, I want to speak about the Johannesburg mayor, the former Johannesburg mayor, Putikabeno, who was arrested for funeral policy fraudulent people. Why is this guy such a target? Is this a true case or is it made up? Who are these people that opened this case? And is he a person that belongs behind bars? Was he a mayor of Johannesburg by mistake? We need to talk about that. I also want to touch on Mogoeng. Mogoeng says, we have not made any progress as African people since 1994. Is this true? Let's hear that speech from him and let's break it down a little bit. I also want to speak about the Spaza shop. You guys know that this issue of Paza shop is going to be an ongoing, topic as to foreigners running tuck shops in the townships and everything. It's very interesting to see how it's unfolding. But I want to highlight what the Gauteng MMC has said from the ANC political party, It's very interesting what he said, and I want to continue to warn you South Africans to tread carefully when you are dealing with this issue of Spaza shop. Also, maybe I'll close with this issue of Zimbabwe, gathering the white people, that the black people. Okay, Mugabe in 2020, not in in the year 2000, said, listen, black people, go and take your land. This land was taken to you from you by force, by these colonizers. Go and take your land. Now, Mnangagwa is saying, no, we are sorry for taking the land from you people. We're going to pay you 20 million US dollars so that you guys can go back to farming and boost our economy again. What a disappointment from the people of Zimbabwe. Let's talk about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I am your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjiva Sono, and today I said, Mambo VP. How is your day? Hello, how are you? And the way you respond to that is Poa. Mambo VP. It's another way of greeting. You know, you've got Habari Yako, you've got Jambo, then you've got Mambo VP. How are you today? How are you? How are you today? It's Mambo VP. So, when you're doing your research on Kiswahili, you'll get different ways of greeting. I found that Mambo VP is also an easy way to greet, and the response to that is Poa. So that's very simple to remember. Anyway, let's get into this issue of Panyaza Lesufi. The mainstream media will always focus on tarnishing the image of Panyaza Lesufi. And I've always said, Panyaza Lesufi is untouchable up until the ANC allows him to be a target. As long as the ANC is backing Panyaza Lesufi, there is nothing that the DA and the mainstream media can do. They have tried to say Panyaza has not released this report. Panyaza, dating the reports back to 2016, 2017. And it's crazy that we, the people, we are listening to these reports and we are now turning against Panyaza, saying, no, Panyaza is corrupt, man. Why did Panyaza do this? Blaming the man without any facts, but you just need to do a little bit of research for you to understand what is going on here. But before we respond to that, let's hear what is Panyaza saying in his defense. Why did he not release all of these reports that the Democratic Alliance is crying about? Listen to the response of Panyaza Lesufi.
What is your response to the allegations made by the Democratic Alliance that you are hiding corruption and maladministration?
They're crying at the wrong funeral, to be quite frank. I mean, they're accusing me that I'm holding reports that were published in 2014. I was not a premier by then. They accuse me I'm hiding reports that were released in 2019. I was not a premier then. So basic facts checking by yourself in the media and everyone else, you'll see that I was not involved. I was not part of these things. I was not there. I only received 4 reports when I was elected as a premier around November, October, November. And December, I studied those reports. I released them about Tembisa Hospital, about Ashanti Hospital, driver's licenses, and all other things. So the reports that I received on my desk, there were 4, and I released them. I made them public. The second report that I called for was the lifestyle audits. And SIU gave me that report last week, 2 weeks ago. SIU released that report about lifestyle audits of other people. So they're just backing up at the wrong tree. What for? I don't know. They're on a campaign to demonize me, to paint me as somebody who's racist, somebody who's a rogue, somebody who doesn't listen to orders within his own political party. And they've hired all streams of people. They've hired their friends in the media. They've hired so-called analysts who write stories that are baseless. They've thrown allegations at me. But I'm strong. I'm fine. I mean, this is the same script, but different actors. The person that I admire so much, Harry Gwala, was accused of being a hawk or an eagle in the ANC. Chris Hani was also accused of somebody who does not love peace. And many other leaders, Winnie Madikizela Mandela and other things. So if I'm going to be grouped with those kind of people, I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I'm strong. They can throw as much mud at me as they wish. I'm Valka-proof, to be quite frank. So I'll take their insult as they go, but there's nothing that I'm hiding. I'm completely against corruption. I've demonstrated that. The reports that have been given to me, I've released that, I've given them to law enforcement agencies. So there's no single report that is on my desk. And I've asked even the teams, MECs that have reports, because some of the investigation might have been instituted by MECs. I've asked those MECs to give me those reports. And if indeed the reports are outstanding, I'll release them. But I have nothing to hide, and there's no purpose for me to hide those reports.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, this is why it's so important for us as African people to own our own media streams. It's very important because we can't compete against SABC and DSTV, Newsroom Africa, and ENCA, all of those white-owned, white-owned mainstream media platforms. On top of that, they've got printed media and online medias like your Sunday Times and Daily Maverick. All of them attacking Panyaza Lesufi. All of them making sure that they put Panyaza in the front page and they try to, to tarnish his name. It's funny that they are not worried about David Makura, who was the premier of Gauteng by the time when they were making these claims that these reports were not released. Panyaza Lesufi rightfully says, listen, when I came in, I just came in just over a year ago, and I have got only 4 reports, and all those 4 reports, I have released them. I have even asked the MECs for other reports that are outstanding so that we can release also those reports. But the way white media is trying to paint Panyaza as this corrupt guy who protects corruption. There are people who are suspended and they were paid, and when they come back, that is Panyaza's fault. Everything is Panyaza's fault. It's the same thing as what they did with Ace Magashula. Every little thing that went wrong, because Panyaza, Ace was the premier, they said they charged him with oversight. What type of a crime is oversight? They said these crimes happened under your watch. under your watch, as if you are sitting there allowing all of this crime, signing. No papers signed by Ace Magashula, nothing like that. And till today, he's still not behind bars. It was just a way of, using that ANC step-aside rule to get rid of Ace Magashula. And I am fearing that the same might happen with Panyaza. These people are going to open cases, empty cases, that are going to be postponed after postponement after postponement, just so that when the time comes in 2026, in 2029, that Panyaza is not there, he is stepping aside. They are dealing with them. Why are they making noises with reports that backdate to David Makura's time? What does Panyaza Lesufi has to do with that? That is the question we need to ask. Anyway, Kabelo, the former Johannesburg mayor, he was arrested for fraudulenting people, old people. When he came in as a mayor, he came in with these allegations on his back, and he still managed to be a mayor because the DA wanted him to be a mayor. But today, it looks like those cases are coming back to haunt him. Let's listen to what he says.
Former Johannesburg Mayor Kabelo Kwamanda is currently on bail after being arrested for fraud on Friday. It follows an investigation by the Financial Sector Conduct Authority. Now, according to a statement from his Al Jamaa party, Kwamanda handed himself over to the police after a warrant of arrest was reportedly issued for him in May. The warrant relates to an alleged funeral policy scam in Soweto back in 2011. It is alleged that the councillor accepted monthly payments from clients for funeral insurance but could not be found when people wanted to claim.
Good afternoon, Johannesburg. This is a very stormy Sunday afternoon. I just wanted to alert the residents to be cautious of the heavy rains that we occasionally experience in the city of Johannesburg, and that you keep very safe.
We're told you were arrested.
Ooh. In South Africa as a country, growing up black, it's a possibility that none of us can avoid. So regardless of the path you choose, whether to serve or whether to engage in nefarious activities, the fact of the matter is that the relationship that South Africans have with law enforcement is a relationship that needs to be worked on very strongly so that we understand what each of our roles are in this undertaking. But I'm here at home. I can't feel. There's a storm coming in the city of Johannesburg. Thank you very much.
Now, I don't know if Kabelo is guilty or not. What I wanted to highlight here is that look how black crime in mainstream media is highlighted and put in the forefront. The crime of people, white people who've been stealing from Eskom, corruption on tender, fraudulent stuff, and all of those things are mentioned in passing. But when it is a black person who is alleged to commit some type of a crime, it is made as breaking news. And then after that, there will be follow-up interviews. They will interview Action SA, ANC, EFF. No, they will run with this whole thing the whole week. You will see this whole week, they will be running on this thing. That's why I said we as Africans must be careful with the great distraction. They distract us. They don't want us to focus on what is the real thing in South Africa. What is the real problem? These tuck shop things, all of these things that are happening, I know they are manufactured so that we Africans must never speak about the land issue, must never speak about taking back the mines, must never speak about the minerals, must never even touch the issue of illegal foreigners or undocumented brothers and sisters who are working in the farms. We must never talk about those things. We must just talk about, look at that mayor is doing this, look at Panyaza is doing this. Mauti, I told you, every week they manufacture these stories. And Tina, we are always distracted. We are always distracted. Can you please wake up, guys? That is why some of us don't have TVs. These things with Twitter and YouTube. Selective content. I select the content that I want to watch because I know mainstream media is there on television. They are busy telling a vision. They are busy telling a vision to blind us, to make us seem as if we are the most corrupt. We can't go anywhere. There's nothing that we can do. Look how corrupt we are. Look at the shootings that side. Look at extortion cases this side. Look at the weather. Look at this. At the end of the day, these people are building in the background. What's that guy's name? Frederick Botha, the guy that they found with the drug plant house that was found in Limpopo. That guy was allegedly funding the projects in Orania. This is what they are doing. They make money and support each other. Tina, we make money to fight each other. And that nonsense has stopped with Paza, the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. Are you guys excited about the great news that is dropping this week? Paza is dropping great news this week, Sunday. This week, Sunday, we are dropping the biggest news that is going to excite you and give you new hope. Guys, be ready. Be ready. I'd like to thank everyone that contributes to the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. Each and every person that says we as Africans are going to stand together and build an Africanized curriculum school, private independent school for the next generation. I thank you so much. Before I go on and on about Paza, Mogoeng says we have not made any progress as black people in South Africa since 1994. Really? Did Mogoeng really say that?
You think? Let's face the truth. Nothing really happened. Nothing major happened ever since we became a constitutional democracy. The major thing is to be able to vote and be able to go to parliament. But economically, nothing. Why don't you own a media house, sir? Why don't you have a big television station after 30 years? Why? Why? Why don't you have 30 hectares, a farm of 30 hectares in extent? Why? Why don't you own aeroplanes, have your own transportation, a fleet of aeroplanes? Why? Why don't you have many indigenous people here with companies that are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange? Why? Is it because we are idiots? We can't think? Why are we passing the same exams that our white compatriots are passing? What is the problem here? Why? The leadership for the future or the next chapter of our nation can only come into being and achieve what needs to be achieved if it recognizes the main problems behind this country and Africa and the third world's inability to move forward. And once you understand what the real problem is, what the real blockage is, you must be prepared to face those problems, but know that there are consequences. You're not going to interfere with these well-organized oppositional mechanisms without consequences. So I just want to pause and read out quotations. And one will be from John Perkins, who wrote the book, The New Confessions of the Economic Hitman. And another will be from...
Yeah, I agree with Mogoeng 100%. There is little to no progress that we have made since 1994. It is sad, ladies and gentlemen. We are not building our own. Yes, we do have some big shots about Vusi Tembekwayo, about DJ Sbu, people who are trying to do something somewhere there that is working, but it is not entirely going to change the status quo of the lives of African people. He asked a question, why are you not owning media companies? Why are you not controlling the narrative in your country? Why is it that you are not pushing to focus on telling a vision, telling a story about black people, a certain narrative about black people that fights what is being told by white stream media. And that is why we said at Paseta, around the school, we're going to build a smart city. We're going to build a gated community also. We're going to develop something that people have never seen in their lives. And it is only through black unity that we can build these things. It is only through your contributions of 50 Rand. It is only through your contributions of 100 Rand, 1,000 Rand, 100,000 Rand. All these contributions, these small 20 Rand contributions that you guys are making is going to make a difference for the school. Because I don't know about you, but for me personally, I'm tired of this thing of hearing people saying, we have not done anything for the past 30 years. We have not gotten anywhere. Where is your media companies? Where is your schools? Where is your own hospitals? I'm tired of those things, because I'm saying, what is the answer and what is the solution? And if we know those answers and the solution, why are we not doing them? Because it is us who turn hypocritical in criticizing ourselves, because we criticize ourselves and then don't do anything. Your work is not enough, ladies and gentlemen. If we ask Mogoeng, yeah, we hear what you are saying, but what did you do? What is he going to say? What did you build? Because you can be replaced as a chief justice. Do all the good work as a chief justice, you get replaced, because you have built no institutions. Our Mogoeng, they are in a place where they can get advocates and whatever and bring them to Paseta Legal Minds. And we fight the narrative, the negative narrative that is being pushed. Paseta Legal Mind is the legal arm of Paseta. And there are so many other arms that you can participate in: the technological arm, the political school arm, the military training arm. There are so many, and you can be part of them also. I'm telling you. But anyway, let's listen to this journalist Prince, who always talks rubbish. I don't like Prince, actually. I don't like Prince. He says that Fikile Mbalula is the worst Secretary General in the history of the ANC. Do you guys agree with that?
Wait, let's just go back to the history of the ANC, right? The ANC SG has always been a level-headed someone, the most sober, who doesn't make noise. If you look at all the SGs of the ANC, by the way, and generally would be very educated, general. So this is the profile of an ANC SG. If you, from the beginning, the SG that things began to go wrong with Ace Mahashule in the Free State, when it became SG, there was a change in the character of an ANC SG. And Fikile Mbalula realized that anyone, even a goat, can be SG. And I can raise my hand. This has changed. He is the worst of SGs in the ANC. He makes a lot of noise. He is not a respectable human being, by the way. He is not sober. After he has spoken, either you laugh or you wonder what has gone wrong with the ANC. You can't reflect after Fikile has spoken. That Cyril Ramaphosa, by the way, wanted Fikile to be SG of the ANC. Tells me that actually Cyril Ramaphosa wanted to kill the ANC. Because Cyril Ramaphosa has been long enough in the ANC. He knows what I'm talking about. That he allowed Fikile to be on the same slate with him as potential SG tells you that Cyril himself doesn't care about the future of the ANC. Lastly, Fikile is the first SG to preside over an ANC that failed to clinch a majority. That is big. So, would you say a character like that will have a future in the party? Certainly not. By all standards, this chap doesn't qualify to have a future in the party. In fact, he was not supposed to be there after the elections. A proper democratic party anywhere in a civilized country would have removed a guy like that, because he has underperformed.
I don't like Prince at all. It's those journalists that I believe are also controlled by white media to go and tarnish black people's images. All the black parties have got nothing good to say about the EFF, absolutely nothing good to say about the ANC, nothing good to say about the MK party, very silent on DA matters, very silent on Freedom Front Plus matters, very silent on AfriForum matters, and continuously every day attacks our African parties. That's what he does. Yes, sometimes it doesn't matter who the message come from. You have to understand when the truth is being told. Fikile Mbalula and you guys call him Pala Pala FM. Fikile Mbalula, Pala Pala FM. I like that name. And Cyril Ramaphosa has ruled over an ANC that had the worst performance in the history of the ANC. 17% is not a joke. I thought there was going to be a special NEC Lekgotla that was going to be organized after the election to say, guys, we have lost 17%. There must be some restructuring happening from the top to the bottom. They left the KZN leadership just like that. They left the Mpumalanga leadership just like that. Gauteng leadership just like that. They left Northern Cape leadership just like that. Well, Eastern Cape and Limpopo is a different topic, but Free State the same also. Left them just like that. Very little changes happening on the leadership thing, because they know if they change provincially, it will mean that they have to change nationally. And Abu Fikile Mbalula, really, Fikile, does he care about his political future, or is the man so sorted that he does not care about politics anymore? Hearing words like people are destroying the ANC purposefully. They are the ones who are driving the nails through the coffin. It for me, it's like your surname, your name, and your children's name, wearing your name. Is that not more important than you? When people come and say, and your child stands up and they say, that is Fikile's child. And people say, wow, your father was the best Secretary General we ever had. Wow, your father did this and this, Is that not important to these people? Because I tell you, God forbid something happens to Abu Fikile Mbalula and they pass away or they get kicked out of the ANC, nobody will celebrate him. What is it that you will be celebrating Razzmatazz for? What is it? What is it that he has done as a Secretary General? He's instead angry at people wearing t-shirts that says "Don't kill Chris Hani again." He's angry, summoning people. Colin Malaji said he will go to the Union Building and take Cyril Ramaphosa out, and Fikile Mbalula did not say anything. Buffet Angaz. And also, I want to speak about the ANC stance on this tuck shop, foreign-owned tuck shop matter in the township. The ANC, let's hear what Lebogang Maile says about what the law says about everything. Listen to what, guys, listen very carefully to what the MMC says.
So you see, Ponzo, South Africa, it's governed by law. And the media and Human Rights Commission, you will be the first people to go at government if you were to close people's shops without following any process and all that. Shops that are not selling correct things, they must be closed. I agree with you, as a matter of principle. But you don't wake up and say, we close all the foreign-owned shops. By the way, that matter has become so complicated. The other day, I was in Tembisa. We walked into one of the foreign-owned shops. It's foreign-owned, but the Bangladeshi citizen is now having a South African citizenship. Could be by marriage, or I don't know. But he gave us his ID. This person is not from South Africa. It's from Bangladesh. So when you say close all the shops, who is that person? How are you referring to them? they've got your citizenship. So this has become more complex, and that's why I think we all need to agree that the national government must lead us, and we must have a multi-faceted approach. But it must not be an issue that waits until there's a problem.
Yeah, this thing of illegal foreigners, undocumented foreigners owning tuck shops in the township has taken our attention. You remember when we were speaking about the Chidima issue? Again, are we still waiting for the final report of Chidima, or we have given up? Or some of you in South start to say there's still a family. But anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on that topic. I'm just speaking about Chidima because we spoke about Chidima for 2 months as African people. And for that 2 months, on Heritage Day, we were still, I don't know, celebrating our clothes and everything. At Orania, they were celebrating going off the grid. People are building things. Tina, we are always distracted by something somehow. Hey, Pirate Liwe, Kaizer Chiefs winner 4-0, which is very good. Sharper, Kosi Sharper. But those type of things are distracting us from the real serious issues in the community. And this one of tuck shops is going to distract us till next year. If we are not careful, we'll be talking about tuck shops. Those children ate poison, these children. And what is your government saying? Your government is saying, no, we can't just go around close tuck shops like Operation Dudula is suggesting. It's against the law. The government is saying that. It's against the law to go and close all of these tuck shops. What are we going to do then? When the government is siding, it looks like they are siding with those people. They say, listen, some of these people, the Bangladeshis, they are carrying South African citizenships. They've got South African IDs. What are we going to do? All the way from Bangladesh has got an ID here in South Africa. And he's got a nerve to say, I'm not sure if he's married or he's not. Why didn't you ask him? Why are you coming here with something that you are not sure of? It's tough, my African people, because the South African people are angry at this. And you know my take. My take is the Somalis and some of the Ethiopians and some of the Indians and whatever, they can be as black as us, but they don't identify as black. They can be African, for that matter. They don't identify as African. It's just like the Egyptians, the Moroccans, the guys from Libya. They don't see themselves. They see themselves as special Africans, if I can say that. It's not the same. If we were fighting my Nigerian brothers, my Zimbabwean brothers, my tone would be totally different. Understand? And I've said, it's funny how we fight them. In Eastern Cape, I think 6 children or 5 children passed away after eating porridge from Spa. And it was proven that this porridge was eaten, bought from Spa. Nobody's talking about closing Spa. Nobody. Because that's a big shop, white monopoly capitalists. We can't attack them. Let's attack the small shops. That is what we are doing. You know, so it hurts me. It hurts me to watch how we are so distracted with this. And it is a serious matter, I understand. And the solution is not there because the community is having a certain solution. The government is saying, no, actually, you don't do things like that. Speaking about this type of nonsense, Zimbabwe government wants to pay back white people's land and give them implements money so that they can... Guys, listen to this.
Zimbabwe is expected to pay $20 million to farmers whose lands were forcibly taken following a government directive in the early 2000s. The payments are supposed to start this month. The country's finance minister, Mthuli Nkube, said on Friday, October 4th, that the funds for compensation had been allocated in the 2024 financial year budget. The government is confident the compensation will help improve the country's agriculture sector sector, spur economic revival, and mend relations with the international community. Farming activities suffered a blow in the southern African nation in the year 2000 when former President Robert Mugabe oversaw the seizure of fertile lands. Most of the seized lands were owned by white commercial farmers. At the time, Mugabe said the citizens were repossessing land illegally taken from them during the colonial period. Zimbabwe, which gained independence in April 1980, had been under British...
Let me stop this clip here. You guys can go and watch it on the internet. So, white people, the British, came in Zimbabwe, took the land as they please, and started farming on it. And they took agricultural land. They didn't just take any other land. They continued to farm on that land for decades, centuries actually. And then after that, when Mugabe took over in 2000, the year 2000, he said, listen, 2001, for that year, he said, listen, go and take your land back, my people. Go and take your land back. Go and take your land back. And after he did that, the sanctions came upon Zimbabwe. Strong sanctions against Zimbabwe. Their economy suffered dearly for that action that Mugabe allowed. Now we have Mugabe's friend, the crocodile, Mnangagwa, who's saying he's going to take $20 million US to pay back white people to go back to farming so that their agricultural sector can be lifted up again. My problem is, why don't you take that money and make programs, government programs to uplift the black farmers? Zimbabweans are always laughing at us, South Africa, say, hey, listen, we've got land, we've got land, we've got land. Here is your president taking back your land. What type of nonsense is this? They are saying, it's funny because I work for the Department of Agriculture here in South Africa. And we've got Zimbabwe professionals, engineers, farm cycle managers, and all of those things. We have them, veterans, we have, doctors. We've got everything from Zimbabwe here in South Africa. They are working here. Why are those people not recalled at home, being given a salary that is bigger than this one in South Africa, and make sure that they revive the agricultural land in Zimbabwe? I don't understand why is this is the biggest embarrassment in the history of African countries ever, man. I can't think of anything else that is worse than that. You're going to pay them as if giving them the land back is not enough. You want to pay them so that why don't you pay black people? Why don't you train black people? Why don't you send them here in South Africa for some trainings? Why don't you send them in overseas? I don't care what you do. Why don't you buy farm managers from, I don't know, from China, from Europe somewhere, and they come here? I don't know, what is it that you want to do? The solution for that problem is here in Africa. So many African countries are doing well. You can go and ask Burkina Faso, how did they revive their agricultural sector? You can go and ask Mali, how they revived their agricultural sector. But you want to, I don't know. That is why it is important for the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture to be a success. Because our people don't know agriculture anymore. They don't know how to plant a spinach that grows in 3 months. You plant it, you take care of it, you put a net over it. Your spinach will grow in 3 months. You'll be eating spinach. Proud. You will be teaching your children. That is why the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture is a boarding school. Because we want to change the mindset of your children. We want your children, when they come back home, you must hear politically, this child is different. Economically, this child is on a different level. Technologically, is advanced. Agricultural is well established. That's what you must see when you get your child back from Paza. So all of that is not possible if you and I don't donate to the school. If we don't send our contribution of 50 Rand, 200 Rand, 1,000 Rand 20 rand, whatever the contribution that you have, and I said and I repeat, only people who are working and have got some type of spare change must contribute to Paza. If you're not working, the economical times, as the situation is very hard, I don't expect you to. If you like this video, you comment, you share this video so that other people can see it. That is enough support. We thank you very much. So please, thank you for everyone who have donated to the Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. Wait for that great news that's coming this Sunday. Make sure that you click the subscribe button. Make sure that you hit the bell icon, because great news is dropping this Sunday, people. I'm telling you. So when we say have a nice day in Kiswahili, we say suku njema. Suku njema. You know, suku like as in usuku. Suku njema. So that's another word that I will teach you today. Suku njema. Have a nice day. Thank you so much, guys. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.